Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning with me, Brigand Hall. Let's enter the Proving Halls and show that we have what it takes to join the House of Sorrows. Or to at least help them out with their problem.
And so you have come, whether to aid the house or rain punishment on the Tuatha, I do not know. That you are here is enough. To assuage your confusion, I am Bisarane, king of the house. During your trials, I will observe and communicate to you through this medium.
What is this about?
This is about you, of course. You are the only mortal to be given a chance to join the House of Sorrows. But do not think such an offer is given out of honor or respect for you. What drives me to this offer is what brought you here. Necessity.
And how are you talking to me?
Through the crystal you see before you. It is not magical in and of itself, but a conduit for my own magic. All your actions will be known to me. Every word will be listened to.
Alright, what must I do?
What you do is of no concern to me. What I hope to evaluate is what you are, to know how you might best help the house. I have locked the way behind you. The way forward is your only path out of these halls. I can tell you no more, other than that I will be watching.
Okay. Alright, chill out. Just a second. There we go. It's the first time we fought 3 of those at one time. Also, glad to see that my hammer is still better than the Prismere stuff we're finding. Unlike my armor. My armor is definitely worse than the Prismere we're finding. Okay, just jump down. Also like how they're dangling the House of Sorrows membership in front of me like some sort of reward. I don't know anything about that. What if I don't want to join it?
Help me, mortal! The beast will kill me if you do not help!
Okay. What's going on here?
Beast roam these halls, mortal. Once these lands were quiet, gentle. Now they mean to kill all that tread upon it, even the Winter Fae. My people have lived in peace for decades, centuries. But now we're awash in war and corruption, and we cannot stop it.
Right, where's the monster?
I do not know. The midden, it has been sullied. We've never feared such assaults until recently. Wait, what was that? It is here.
Alright, got some killing to do. That's just an Etten. It's not a big deal. Oh, there's more here than just the Etten. Alright, 1 second, Etten. I'll come back to you in a second. Whoops. Missed my parry. Time that just a smidge. There we go. And now she's gone. Something tells me they're going to prefer the more selfish approach to these trials, where I'm going to go the more selfless route. I doubt that it's going to change anything. It's all the illusion of choice, unless I just straight up turn down the quests.
And so you have completed your first trial. Your actions spoke volumes, but your reactions are just as pertinent. You killed the creature that was chasing that woman. Why?
Well, he did attack me. Tell me why I'm here.
It would be at great fault if I did not know something of you, the mysterious mortal without a fate to call his own. Your lack of fate is intriguing, I will admit. And although it is why I summoned you, it does not represent the whole of your nature. Hence, the need for evaluation. Ahead, you will find a Fae of Sorrows succumbing to poison. I am interested to see what you make of him.
Mincemeat. Had a chance to react to that, and I did not take it. Alright, I need to be a little more cautious. Getting a little cocky. Also, with as much health regen as I have, I'm surprised like my health isn't just like shooting up the health bar. I'm actually a little disappointed with how slow it's going up. So I feel like the amulet ranks somewhere in what, the doctor's amulet, if I'm not mistaken? Doctor's medallion. That alone I feel like should just be an absurd amount of health regen, but it doesn't feel like it.
Please, are you the mortal that Bisarane has brought to aid us? The one he has promised? Thank mercy, I have been poisoned. But now that you are here, you can kill me. Please, end my suffering.
What happened?
I do not know. It is some poison. In other times, the Fae would not be vulnerable to this. But we are weaker now. We are prone. I could have walked from this once. But now...
You want me to kill you?
Please, mortal. I know it's strange, but the Fae are not like you. Death is different to us. I will rise once more in time, but killing me will let me escape this suffering.
Who did this to you?
I do not know. Everything is blurred. I do not even know where I am. It must have been him. He does whatever he cares with his subordinates. It was Bisarane.
Bisarane did this.
He was meant to save us from the Tuatha, to preserve our oldest traditions, to protect the Winter Fae.
Alright, well, I will kill you.
Thank you for ending this.
At least attack me, so I feel better about it. Go down fighting, man.
Death is something you readily deliver, it seems. But did that Fae die as a result of your mercy or your barbarity?
Yeah, why is this trial needed?
I lead a court of Winter Fae who wish to free
Excuse
these
me.
lands from the Tuatha, and we have gone too long without new blood. You have demonstrated substantial worth. One trial remains.
Okay. He sounds a little bit like, I don't remember the actor's name. The guy that plays Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. I'm not good with actors' names. It's not something I usually get invested in. But I do like him as an actor. I think he's a very quality actor. Alright. Also, Davy Jones is one of my favorite villains in cinema.
You have reached this chamber at last. The time of trial is over. No more apparitions, no more questions. The House of Sorrows has always held a precarious position in this world, and now we hold on to it by the tips of our fingers. You think you have broken the Tuatha's grip on Cluracan. You have not. Even now, the Winter Fae and the House of Sorrows are subject to their malice.
Why show yourself now?
Because there are trials that I can observe from afar, and others that I must see at hand. We have reached the trial that I must be present for, if I am to test you truly.
Wait, is he... Besides Gadflow, is he the first Fae we've seen that's bald? I think so. It's just him and Gadflow. Why do I need to strike you?
What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations.
I will not fight you.
Nor could you have fought me if you had chosen to do so. What you see before you is but an apparition.
Yeah, I figured. I get to ask the questions I wanted to ask, because the question I asked led me to the,
Now that your trial has concluded, come with me. The Tuatha have yet to break down our doors, but I would not put that past them. The house is poised to collapse from the Tuatha's dissension and destruction, and I need one to help us.
You call this a trial?
I know it is not the mortal way to test someone in a manner such as this. The beast, the poison, it was all done out of necessity. I did not need you to understand the trial. I only needed it completed. I do not have time for you to meet the struggles of the house unprepared.
Was any of that real?
Some. Your reactions were real, but the Fae with whom you interacted, Tybri, Kadarok, and myself, were not. They were but apparitions of the Fae you will come to know in this house. As facsimiles, the apparitions were appropriate enough, but I think you will find their real-world counterparts more complex.
Still interesting that the apparition I assume he created the apparition, right? Would blame him for the poison? I wonder if that was intended to make me want to strike him when push came to shove. Alright, I will help the house.
Then welcome to our ranks, mortal. The Hearthstone I gave you at the start of the trials will now reflect your affinity with us. Come, join me at the House of Sorrows. I will show you a world stranger than you have ever seen.
Well, that's exciting. Alright, Tuatha.
The Fae they call themselves. The Faithful. They take the Fae of Winter and craft them into an army. But they know little of true devotion.
Okay, the Midden.
The Midden is the cradle in which our race of Winter was fostered. It is a place of rot, of decay, a place where the House of Sorrows holds reign.
Also, I do want to point out his weapon looks more Summer Fae-ish than Winter Fae-ish. It's definitely more bright and vibrant than I would expect a Winter Fae to carry. A recent history.
The House of Sorrows made a pact with the Tuatha. They would not interfere with us if we did not interfere with their war with the Alfar. Of course, the Tuatha did not trust us, so they insisted that a new king be appointed to the house, one agreeable to both parties. In the end, I was the one chosen. I was to be king. But in answering that call, I have been labeled a traitor by many within the house.
Alright, House of Sorrows.
My summer brethren embody the growth and progression of nature. As such, establishing the summer realms came easy to them. But the Winter Fae bear the burden of regression and decay in their essence. Left alone, they would never be able to overcome such a weight. They could never unite. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the Winter Fae, so they can achieve greatness.
Okay, Gallows Tree.
To your kind, it is a celebration of war. But before your mortal corpses were hung there by Tuatha, it was the emblem of our house's duty. The most reverent corpses were placed not in the midden, but hung upon those boughs, to show all of nature that we still revere our essence of decay. But like all things in these lands, the tree has been defiled by war. Saturnin took our greatest symbol and turned it to filth.
Sidon.
The Prince of Sorrows once, but now, no longer. He wages a war against the Tuatha with little support, but his own strength. Perhaps that is enough for him, but the only thing he will weaken is the house's morale.
Saturnin.
He is the agent of the Tuatha, and though he bears their allegiance, his appearance is that of a Winter Fae. I am certain of it. I know little of him, but of me and my house, his knowledge is wide and deep. With every action, he reveals that he is merely toying with us. He is not a type of foe I am familiar with, for he does not attack outright. Instead, he instills fear and despair.
Okay, how can we stop the Tuatha?
If we are to discuss the plight of the house, I will do so at his heart. Come, meet me in the main hall of the House of Sorrows, and we will speak more.
Okay. That's exactly what we'll do.
Speak.
Hopefully it's not a very large house so we can knock out all those conversations real fast.
Speak.
Oh, we're already here. Oh, neat.
Listen.
Hello, Stility.
So, there is a mortal after all. Bisarane has done little in his time as king that has been quite so progressive as welcoming a mortal into our fold.
Stylity.
I have given up mortal. It is the way of life to struggle, I think, in the jaws of death. But how can we consider ourselves devout if we struggle? No. Let us lay down our arms, let us lay upon the midden soil and pass on.
Saturnin.
It is said that Saturnin is one of us, one of the house. But who? Why would one of us betray us to the Tuatha?
I didn't really like their armor. Like the bird skull motif. I assume that's supposed to be representative of the bird skulls that we saw out in the midden. House of Sorrows.
How fitting, I think, that this place becomes like the bodies we tend. Empty, cold, and eventually consisting of nothing.
Gallows Tree.
Quiet place once. I used to watch the rooks and crows rest gently upon its boughs. But now the beasts are savage things, glutting themselves on rotten flesh.
Sidon.
His is the voice that cries out when struck dead. I see only doom for our people, and neither Bisarane nor Sidon can avert it. Be safe.
Alright, if you say so. Plenty of people to talk to. I guess we'll work our way up this way first.
Greetings, mortal. I am a tender of the Midden. I have been instructed to offer you what insight I can give about the art of dispelling.
Okay. The Midden.
Be warned, mortal. The Midden is no longer what it once was. It is a place of beasts and dark, putrid magic, unsafe to all who enter.
Okay. Saturnin.
If there is nothing else we can do, if we cannot bring a lasting peace for our house, then at least let us bring an end to Saturnin.
Okay. A House of Sorrows.
Once, we lived in the wilds of the Midden, but as the place became defiled, we had to take refuge in these old halls for fear of the beasts outside, and of Saturnin.
Okay. Dionysiac? Dionysiac?
I have always felt magic's call, but in the Midden, the call is strongest. It allows me to see charms and spells and undo them. This I teach to all who listen.
Okay. Sidon.
Though we are targeted by Tuatha, Sidon is the only one who wages open war against them. For good or ill, I do not know. Remember.
It could be Diona each. No idea how to say her name.
Keep the sorrows.
Sorrows
The war
Delver.
has scarred our sacred lands.
The mortal. This house is full more of portents than of sorrow these days. Your arrival must truly be a telling of how dark these times have grown.
Saturnin.
The beast will be caught, for until now he has not tasted the strength of winter. He will pay for his crimes against us.
Okay. House of Sorrows.
We were greater once. We had tenders and delvers throughout these lands, not individuals huddled in worry over Saturnin and the Tuatha.
Genlis.
I've seen this house in strong winters and weak ones, but I never pledged my being to a beast as winded and laboring as the house is now.
Gallows Tree.
The tree is ever quiet, but sometimes you can hear it groan under the weight of the indignities it now bears. Saturnin has gone too far with his latest assault.
Sidon.
The outcast? What more is there to speak than to say that he abandoned the traditions of this house out of lust for war and reprisal? Perhaps his motives are just, but nature cares little for what one does in the name of justice. Only what one does in the name of survival.
Could be
Where
he's
is
doing it out of
Saturnin?
a necessity for survival, right? Oh, it just keeps going, doesn't it? Okay. Let's talk to Rorid.
And so you come. The least powerful of us in some regards, the most powerful in many others. I am Rorid, mortal, one of the tenders of the Midden.
The Midden.
There is little that can be done for this place now. The Tuatha have sullied our ancestral cradle with the bodies of mortals. It may be changed forever.
Rorid.
I have always lived my life here in this house. What will become of me when it is gone? Are our fates bound, or will they be undone?
House of Sorrows.
Nothing good remains for us. Too much has already been lost in this struggle with the Tuatha.
Sidon.
There are those that flee the house, as a crow fleeing a coming storm. But Sidon is more than that. He seeks to free us from the Tuatha.
Yeah, which I think still fits Genlis's definition, you know, or intent, you know, just survival. Well, sometimes in order to survive, you have to fight back. Heikener?
You, the Siegebreaker, walks here. Good. Now perhaps the Tuatha will have cause to fear us. I am Heisener, one of the Delvers.
I would like it if more of them, when you first spoke to them, introduced themselves and gave you their names so I knew how to pronounce them. Because a lot of them have multiple pronunciations. Saturnin.
I never thought to know a menace I could not see or hear or strike. And yet the Tuatha have furnished us with one.
House of Sorrows.
The Winter Fae look to us to appease the decay in Winter's heart. Through our efforts, all of Winter Fae are able to transcend their nature.
Hi, Sinner.
For too long have I been within this house, unable to help my brethren. I wish to walk the woods again. I wish to delve again.
Gallows Tree.
There's little that can be said of it. The tree is the oldest in these lands. Like we Winter Fae, it thrives off decay.
As is most of nature. Delvers.
Once they could look into a Fae and take the burden of winter from their heart. But now, the Delvers are deaf to the sorrows. All, it seems, but one.
Sidon.
Sidon, the outcast. Nothing is truly solitary in nature, but Sidon walks a lonelier path than most. I wish him well. Farewell.
Nepid.
Many tidings, mortal. I am a tender of this house. What is it you require?
The Midden.
When the world was young, it was from the Midden that we were born, and that all things came to die.
Saturnin.
I thought the Tuatha were capable only of barbarity, only of outright vengeance. Instead, we are told that the Tuatha have unleashed on us a beast of cunning, of sly vindictiveness, and it cannot be stopped.
That comment there makes me think that Saturnin is made up. I think he is an artificial spy or artificial watcher sent there to just mess with these guys. Like he doesn't actually exist. Might be wrong though, because I'm sure this quest line will need a boss to fight, and it's probably going to be Saturnin. But we'll see. Nepin.
I cannot venture into the Midden. Not any longer. There are beasts both ravenous and cruel, and sights loathsome to behold. It scares me.
House of Sorrows.
We are the penitent ones who oversee the rotting of the world. Your kind reviles us, but without our aspects of nature, nothing would ever flourish.
Sidon.
Though he has done well to stand against the Tuatha, he has done so by embracing their warlike methods.
Well, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. That is the truth of it. Alright, Atea.
It seems there were more to the rumors of Bisarane's pet mortal than I gave credit. I am Atea, Lord Keeper of the house.
The Midden.
Once a gentle place where the bodies of the Winter Fae were returned to the earth. The Midden is now a mire of filth, of putrid mortal death. Be careful when within.
Saturnin.
There is no precedent for a foe like this. Even in the ancient wars, no Fae ever acted in a manner such as Saturnin. I am at a loss to know what we must do to stop him. I do not believe it is a victory we can achieve.
House of Sorrows.
There has always been a House of Sorrows, it seems. Not long after the birth of the Winter Fae came the Weeping King, and with him, the house.
Delvers.
Delvers are not chosen. Though many wish to follow in the steps of the Weeping King, few have his gift. Those that do, then, are compelled to serve as he did.
Sidon.
Though he fights in the name of our people, I cannot help but feel abandoned by him. I only hope this war does not consume him.
Atea.
I hold the lore of the house in my being. It is a responsibility that I alone can bear. As such, I am neither Delver nor Tender.
Tenders.
Delvers see to the sorrows of a Fae, but Tenders see to his flesh. When a Fae dies, Tenders take the body to the Midden and see it safely into rot. Until next time.
Okay, let's talk to, is it Droser? Yeah, Droser.
And you have come to Droser. I know of your kind, mortal. I have seen what you have to offer. War, destruction, calamity. You are better off leaving us be.
Okay, Saturnin.
I have seen the Tuatha as they fell upon the houses of pride and of vengeance. It was horrible and maddening. But never have I seen a Tuatha draw out a battle such as this. Never have I seen one enjoy such malice.
House of Sorrows.
We are the foundation upon which all Winter Fae rely. By attacking us, the Tuatha have turned their back on their own kin once and for all.
A Gallows Tree.
Once, the bodies of our most faithful members were hung upon the tree. But now, the Tuatha have decorated it with the butchered corpses of mortals. Blasphemy!
Drozer.
What do you wish to know of me, mortal? What of a Fae could you hope to understand? I will not deign to explain my life to you.
Okay. Delvers.
The art of the Delvers has been passed on since the Weeping King first walked this midden. That it is now lost, it must be some Tuatha witchery.
Sidon.
He will always be a prince of the house, even though we have parted ways. We wish him well.
Well, it seems like most of the House of Sorrows has nothing against Sidon. I think only 2 out of the ones we've spoken to had anything bad to say. Saying they felt as though they were abandoned by him.
Greetings.
I have a task for you. Of late, there are many in this house who have come to view my authority with disdain. As such, there is need of someone unbiased by our house's history and the traditions therein. Someone such as you. We must move quickly. The Tuatha will not hold their strikes for long. Let us stop their next blow.
Alright. Tenders.
The Tenders are those sacred few who oversee the decay and decomposition of a Winter Fae's body. They also oversee the midden itself. For like a body, the midden is a physical thing, a vessel for rot and ruin, that which is required for death to become rebirth. Finally, they once tended to the Gallows Tree, but that was before the Tuatha perverted it.
Also, so I'm probably thinking into it way too much about Saturnin not being a real Fae or a real Tuatha. He's made up to mess with these guys. This game is pretty predictable. Bisarane is probably Saturnin, if I had to guess. Why else would he have been made king at the behest of the Tuatha and the Winter Fae? He looks like a Winter Fae, but he's also a Tuatha agent. Also, he's bald, and that's throwing me through a loop here, because only him and Gadflow, to my knowledge, are bald out of all the Fae. I don't remember ever seeing another bald Fae. So, anyway, Delvers.
Members of the house may choose one of 2 paths. The path of the Delver, or the path of the Tender. Delvers are those who commune with the sorrows of the living Fae and the recently deceased. They draw forth these sorrows and assume them. However, most Delvers lost their talent over these last few centuries. But our youngest, Tybri, shows some promise.
And how can we stop the Tuatha?
You fail to understand. Although the Tuatha wage war with us, as they have with the Alfar, they do so by other methods. Our enemies are subtle. They target individuals, not armies. They strike at convictions, not cities. And by doing so, they can retreat to where we cannot find them. For all our years of struggle, we know only this: that our enemy is led by a Tuatha agent, Saturnin. He is the master of this shadowy coup.
Alright, how do we find Saturnin?
We cannot right now. He hides himself and covers his tracks well. But I have a lead which you will investigate with one of our Delvers, Tybri. A Tender, Katarak, has fled the house and killed a fellow member in doing so. I suspect Saturnin's influence, or perhaps that Katarak might be Saturnin himself. Bring Tybri to the body of Katarak's victim. Though dead, the sorrows will remain on the corpse. The sorrows can lead us to Katarak.
Okay. What did you need me to do?
There is a Tender named Katarak who has fled our ranks. He is somehow tied to Saturnin. I am certain of it. I want you to find him and put an end to him. For if he is not Saturnin himself, then he is betraying our secrets to the Tuatha.
Or he's caught on to you and you want me to take care of him so you don't have to sully your hands with it. Because obviously, if he goes around killing Fae, he'll be more suspect than if, you know, a mortal
Show your reverence.
that he brought into the fold of the House of Sorrows would, you know, go around killing a bunch of Fae. Especially since I'm known to kill. That's kind of...
Listen.
He already called me out for that once. Hi, Utricle.
It seems these days that many flock to the Midden, either to jeer at the ruin of the Gallows Tree, or to bring ruin to this house. Which are you, I wonder?
Utricle.
I will no longer stomach the delays and insults of Bisarane. The house must be led to war. If not by him, then by someone else.
Well, Sidon's doing that. You could go join him. Sidon.
Can he hope for victory alone, when the whole of the house fears defeat? I applaud his determination, but I feel it will be his undoing.
Okay, House of Sorrows.
We are a thing of necessity, so I am told. An answer to our brethren, the Summer Fae, and the court they have constructed.
Saturnin.
It is a difficult thing, not to know who your opponent is. No one can truly be trusted, not until Saturnin is stopped.
Okay, Tenders.
In days long gone by, we would enter the Midden and treat the bodies to ensure that they decayed into the earth that birthed us. But now, we can do nothing.
Alright, the Midden.
There are few places in the world that have magic like the Midden does. This is an ancient place, a home of elder things than we Fae. Keep the sorrows.
Okay. I think you're just a tender, right? Yep.
Sorrows guide you.
Hello, Malthon.
Mortal, there is something that requires the attention of one of your kind. You have been to the Midden, yes? The sacred ground being desecrated by the corpses of your kind?
The Midden.
It was a gift of the earth to commemorate the rot and decomposition of the Fae. Then the Tuatha sullied it with the corpses of their prisoners. Mortals do not decay like Fae do. Mortals putrefy and corrupt. The Midden and the House now feel this grisly taint.
Tenders.
We keep the Midden as a monument to the debt we Winter Fae have made with nature. But now the Midden is defiled, and we can do our task no longer.
Saturnin.
I have nothing more to say about him other than history will know him as the victor.
Okay, House of Sorrows.
It is from these halls that we of the House safeguard the oldest traditions of winter. It must be shown due reverence.
The Gallows Tree.
The Gallows Tree is the silent sentinel of the Midden, demonstrating how life grows out of death. It justifies our existence, defines it. It is a symbol not only of the House of Sorrows, but of the Winter Fae. To bear one's corpse upon it was a sacred rite, until the Tuatha defiled it with mortal remains.
Sidon.
If there was anyone meant to bear the title King of Sorrows, it was him. Had we not succumbed to the Tuatha's bargaining, he would have been king. Instead, we turned our backs on him.
Alright, what's needed in the Midden?
The nature of my request is not something the Midden needs, but something the Midden should do without. The corpses of your brethren have been thrown into the Midden as a declaration of hostility by the Tuatha. But they do more than signify a point. Their corruption and rot have drawn an ancient Lianshi Mithra from slumber. She gluts herself on the bodies and will further corrupt the Midden if unchecked.
What does Mithra want?
To feed, Lianshi are drawn to death and decay. Something Winter Fae embody in spirit, but which mortals embody in flesh. When mortal corpses began appearing in the Midden, Mithra was unable to resist the temptation before her, and now she runs rampant.
Alright, I can kill Mithra.
You cannot hope to solve the problem with a simple application of violence. Miathra is old.
Sorry,
and she is
Miathra.
wise to obvious attacks on her. Searching will yield no quarry, so you must be cunning. If we cannot find her in the Midden, we can force her to return to her den beneath the house. Find fresh corpses, the ones Mithra prefers to eat, and cremate them. With no food to scavenge, she will return to her den. Then, you can kill her.
Okay. Miathra.
She is an ancient and powerful Lianchi. Normally she hibernates in the Midden, but the recent influx of dead mortals has driven her to feed. It will only be a matter of time before she further corrupts the Midden with her presence. For the house's sake, she must be put down.
Alright, how do I find Miathra? Sorry, how do I find Miathra?
With great difficulty. She is clever, and hides well when any come hunting for her. To search for her outright would be folly. But with some cunning, we can force her to appear. Mithra prefers fresh corpses. Destroy those, and she would likely return to her den to wait for more. Locate any fresh corpses you can find, and cremate them. Without food, she will stop scavenging and return to her den.
I'm pretty sure he's going back and forth between how to pronounce her name, between Mithra and Miathra. So I'm pretty sure that one time he said Miathra. I was saying Mithra previously. So that's the Midden. Where does this take me? Also to the Midden. What's out here? Hold on. Why has they got two exits? Oh, that's right. There's the one up here. Alright, so where does she need to go? So that's where we have to fight Mithra. Okay, well I'm gonna call the episode here. And the next one will escort both Tybray and deal with Mithra. At least that's the plan. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys. What was that chime sound? Did I hear that? Like a chime noise. Anyway, we call the episode here. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode.